The next thing we're talking about, guys, this is the first ever instance of the Those Guys bump. I think that's what we're going to start calling it.
Right.
I mean, it's so amazing, Tristan, that, our reach is so far and wide, despite the fact that only several people have listened to us. But, it's just, we're just that good. I think we can go on record and just say, Tristan, that we're just that good. Now, if you're wondering how good we are, well, Aria the Animation, we actually talked about it in our first episode just last week. Aria the Animation met its goal. It was having a Kickstarter. Nozomi Entertainment started a Kickstarter for Aria the Entertainment, or Aria the Animation, and it actually met its goal of $110,000 very early, by the way, because it has 30 days, and it met it at like day 4. So it had like 26 days to go, or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it made its goal very, very quickly. Which again, you're welcome. So I'm sorry. I can't even keep a straight face. Look, all that matters is that they made their goal, and I'm really happy about this because, it's a thing where like I love when things get released in general, right? Like I'm happy things get released, get put on DVD because obviously streaming sites. While I think that people should watch things on streaming sites because it gives money back to the creators, you shouldn't skip out on that just because you're like, oh, but it's not permanent because then it's like, no, but it won't be permanent because you don't watch, because the creators aren't getting money. And if like 100 people watch a show because 900 others were like, no, but it's not eternal, so I'm not going to watch it on here. Well, then Crunchyroll's not going to have that show on because clearly Crunchyroll and the creators of that show are like, well, it's not making money. When clearly there's a fan base online for it. I'm not saying don't go on streaming sites. I'm a fan of them. However, I do like when things are released on DVD because it's physical. Like, it's real. It exists. It arguably will exist forever, right? As long as they're keep on being made and people preserve them, they will exist forever. So I like things being released on physical media. However, I am not a big fan of I'm not going to say recent trend because it's not super new, but this trend that's been going on, I would argue, for the last few years or maybe even a few more than that. This trend of something being sub-only and having no English dub. Now look, don't get me wrong, right? English dubs can cost like $30,000 an episode or something crazy, like $30,000 an episode, $10,000 the cheapest. Like, dubs can cost a lot of money, right? So their goal being this much, this goal may have just been adding on to what they already have put aside for the dub, right? And it's also a 13-episode series. But my point is that dubs are expensive, yes. But I feel as if you are alienating certain fans. And I know some purists will say, well, they need to, watch it or shut up. But look, there are some people who legitimately, we know some people, like I know you know them too. I'll talk about it after the show. We know some people that literally go, I cannot watch just the subtitles and the screen. If I'm focusing on reading, I can't focus on everything around me. Or my eyes start to hurt and stuff. People are like, I know some people would be like, well, we should grow up. But look, I feel as if you shouldn't have, shows shouldn't, and I mean this in many ways, shows shouldn't put a barrier between people wanting to watch them. Now, again, if you're going to have a show that's, this is in terms of plot, that's reference heavy, I'm not saying you should have subtitles on the top of the screen explaining every single joke. It's like, no, if you want to do that, make a pamphlet, make a blog post or something like that. But when it comes to subtitles themselves, I feel like, look, they're not going to get on TV. And for anyone saying, oh, why does it matter if they're on TV? Well, when something's on television, networks are paying the company that's dubbing it. So that means that that's money going into their pocket and money going into the original creator's pocket. So dubs, while expensive, are arguably lucrative in the long run if they're able to be picked up on television. And having a dub on disc will mean that more people want to buy your disc. So making them bare bones sub-only releases, unless there really isn't a market, and you can really say, no, there really isn't a market for English dub, then I feel like you're alienating a lot of fans and you're, just putting a stop in between you and your sales. Especially when some of the subs are just retouched up Crunchyroll subs. Then it's just like, wait, then why does someone need to buy the disc? Other than my earlier argument on, it's going to get what if it gets taken off of one of these streaming services? So for me, having this dub, like, I'm super excited for it, and also I'm excited for their success, and I think it's a very interesting way of gauging fan reaction now, because it makes the fans feel involved. I don't think there were there were some rewards, but I think there maybe could have been a little bit more. It would have been nicer, a little bit more rewards. But, still, it's just the idea of, oh, hey, listen, we want to dub this. We have some of the money, but we don't have all of it. Or we have all of it, but will this be a waste of time, right? And if this didn't get backed, then they would have taken the money that they do have for the dub, like the other parts, the other bits and pieces, and they just would have put it to something else, right? That's worth it for them. But they saw that clearly people care about Aria the Animation, right? It got funded less than a week. So,
and I think anything that they make extra now, or at least a piece of what they're making, like if they keep reaching higher goals, like some of that will go to a second season and stuff like that.
Thank you for bringing that up. That was the next thing I was going to bring up. So thank you so much for that transition, Tristan. They actually added stretch goals. That's the official term. They had stretch goals, which I think stretch goals aren't unheard of, but I think in this case it's unheard of, but in a good way. Because usually stretch goals are saying, hey guys, we want to add this stretch goal so that it can, usually let's say a video game, right? A certain Mighty Number 9 that I may have discussed on a different YouTube channel on a show called Hard Mode. Those guys play. So a different YouTube channel. The point is that what's really funny is, if anyone's, by the way, it's really fun. If anyone's listening to our podcast, I pointed to my shirt that has Those Guys Plays logo on my shirt. Everyone's like, why is he just saying it that way? Anyway, but seriously though, right? Like Mighty Number 9, they wanted to add different modes or different, oh, here's multiplayer, oh, here's this. So what do? You make stretch goals. It makes sense there. Here, though, it wouldn't necessarily make sense because it's what would you, because normally, right, it's kind of like, oh, we funded the anime dub. What other goal can you have, right? I can't think of what other goal you would have other than pay Johnny Young Bosch to be in this because he's legally required to be in every anime. Pay, what would you, right? What can you do? Pay Chris Sabat because otherwise he's going to sneak into the production room and record himself doing a character. So let's pay the man if he's going to sneak in and do it anyway. God,
I feel like in this case, it's just they've already got what they need to make the dub first season, and they're like, well, if this has so much popularity for this, then hopefully we can push that towards the second season.
Yes, because they're already, because here's the thing, right? They're already obviously putting the second season on disc, subbed. They're already planning on that. So they've already licensed. That's another thing too, by the way, to really drive home here. No company, unless they are working with the original company, I think it was, there was one streaming site. I can't believe I forgot the name right now. But it was a streaming site that actually worked with the companies. It's not Daisuke. It was a different website that worked with the companies directly. It was Anime Soul. No, it was something that... I hate that it's leaving my mind right now. But the point is that they work with the companies directly so they could actually do Kickstarters for the licenses themselves. Oh, hey, this is going to cost us $50K, right? No company can do that, though. If they're not working with the companies. Why? Because Japanese companies don't want their numbers out there. Right? They don't want the exact number out there that they negotiated. So they've already negotiated all of the rights to put it on DVD. That is not involved in the Kickstarter. I know we mentioned it last time, but to any new listeners. So that's not what's involved here. It's just about the English dub. So, with that stretch goal in mind, they've already licensed Season 2. They just need to, fund the English dub for it. So what they're doing in this case is that, like we said, a little unorthodox, but they've actually made a stretch goal for Season 2. So if they meet their stretch goal, they don't need to make another Kickstarter. But if they don't make their stretch goal, they're still taking that money because it was made, and they're basically subtracting it from what the Kickstarter would have been. So it's crazy, because let's say if it was, let's just pretend, it's going to be the same, $110,000. If they make $50K, now the next Kickstarter is only $60.
Right.
So that's actually a pretty cool thing because, I know last time you were saying, oh, well, if they actually deliver, and it was nothing against Nozomi Entertainment, it was the fact that you've seen a lot of Kickstarters, and so have I, again, hard mode, that don't deliver, right? So...
Because in this case, it's like they've already met the goal for, the first season being dubbed, so it's not like anyone has to worry about, oh, something goes under and nothing comes out. It's like, no, they have everything they need for the first one already. It's just they're riding, because, like you said, it's already met this first goal so early within its time frame of the Kickstarter itself. They figured, why wait to make another one? Let's see how far we can go.
Because it would be so silly, in my opinion. It would be so silly if they were like, well, 26 days to go, let's just end it. It's like, no, guys, let's put some, some more money into this if we can, because there is a second season. Now, if it was for like a random unrelated show, I think it would really be off topic in a way.
Yeah.
But like, it's for the same show, and apparently I love the word unorthodox. I can't say it though, but I love the word unorthodox. And the reason why I like it is because, in this case especially, because you don't really see Kickstarters funding other future Kickstarters, trying to cut out other future Kickstarters. But you know what? I mean, I love this because while it's one of those weird in-betweens where like Funimation did this with Vision of Escaflowne. So you kind of sit there and you're like, well, Funimation and Nozomi Entertainment, they're big companies. They should be able to, fund this dub by themselves. But the way I look at it is, you can rely on them. Like yes, I'm not saying that you can't rely on a new company to dub it over or to try to sub it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they clearly have a proven track record. So you know what they're going to do, you know what they've done. So, if you don't like it, then okay, but if you do, and you like, let's say, Vision of Escaflowne, you like Aria the Animation, I know that another company was doing this with Bubblegum Crisis, Tokyo 2040, Riding Bean, and another anime I can't think of off the top of my head. But, so it's been done before. This isn't exactly new to try to fund either an English dub or to fund another DVD release. But I'm still all for it because, again, either fans are invested and they're buying the DVDs, or there's no fan demand. And then why would a company spend thousands? I mean, think about it, right? $110K could have been dumped into this dub, and then if nobody wanted it, then, or nobody knew about it, then all of a sudden, that's a lot of money to be dumped,
Yeah.
Yeah. But so good for them. Clearly, it's because of us. And now they're going to make their second goal because we talked about it again. My goodness, we're on fire, Tristan.